expecting the storm outbreak across New South Wales to continue for another few days, and we'll get to the forecast total shortly. We've already picked up some really good falls from storms through this week. We've had gusty winds, dust storms, but also some rain. There's a shot from Wagga Wagga Monday evening where the city picked up 28 millimetres of rain. And we've had storms through up to the central parts of New South Wales. Geelong there, just north of Canberra, saw a storm on Tuesday afternoon. This is how much rain has fallen over the past week. You can see the good falls around the central part of New South Wales. Peak Hills picked up over 80 millimetres of rain over the past week. Canberra's had 27 millimetres of rain. Similar totals around some parts of Sydney. For the rest of central and southern Australia over the past week, well below 5 millimetres of rain. We've had some heavy falls across the northern tropics, which is of course common at this time of year. Ex-cyclone Penny making landfall around the central Queensland coast on Wednesday with heavy rain as a result. The heaviest rain will shift to the northern part of Queensland from Thursday onwards, and this storm outbreak will continue across New South Wales. Heavy falls likely as we move towards the weekend, but then easing off for Saturday and Sunday with just the odd storm left over along the ranges. Over the weekend, the heaviest rain through northern Queensland will migrate across towards the top end, so we should finally get some heavy rain around Darwin, for example, over the weekend. And it has been the driest start to a wet season in nearly 3 decades for Darwin. The heaviest rain there indicated by the darker green and the red shading, and the remnants of Penny, this tropical low, moving off the Kimberley coast perhaps early next week and starting to reform, so still a system to watch over the next week. Not much rain though for the start of the new week through central and southern Australia. This is how much we expect then. Storms on Wednesday through eastern New South Wales. The average falls 1 to 10 millimetres, but we could see 20 or 30 millimetres along the ranges from storms. Heavy falls for central Queensland, the risk of flash flooding, localised totals in excess of 100 millimetres for Wednesday. On Thursday, the heaviest rain goes to the tropical Queensland coast. Again, 24-hour totals in excess of 100 millimetres are possible. Fairly widespread storms through eastern and central New South Wales on Thursday. Again, if you're under a storm, you'll probably pick up more rain than what we're seeing here. On Friday, that storm outbreak perhaps even expands all the way down to Victoria and up to the Queensland border. Again, somewhere we'll probably pick up 50 millimetres of rain. Heavy rain through northern Queensland with the risk of further flooding there. There is a flood watch in place for most of the tropical and central Queensland coast right now. Heavy falls on Saturday, moving towards the top end, and heavy falls continuing on Sunday in that area. Altogether, over the next 8 days then, the darkest green shows over 100 millimetres of rain, but I think we'll probably end up with 200 or 300 millimetres of rain in some parts of the eastern Queensland coast. Similar totals around the top end, widespread falls up to about 100 millimetres over the next week. For eastern New South Wales, an average fall of at least 10 millimetres, but somewhere from severe storms will probably pick up closer to around 50 millimetres of rain.
Well, ex-tropical cyclone Penny has been moving closer to the coast, and by Friday into the weekend, we are expecting ex-Penny to move to northern parts of Queensland and then slide across into the northern parts of the Northern Territory, still bringing some rain and possible storms. We're watching out for this high pressure system, which is in the Bight over the weekend, moving further out into the Tasman Sea, directing onshore winds along the Queensland coast. So we might start to see an increase in shower activity from those onshore winds and northerly winds coming through for the interior regions of the country. Very hot conditions, in fact, on the way. Those temperatures getting into the 40s for inland parts of the country, high 30s as we head towards the coastal areas. Certainly Thursday into Friday for South Australia, and that heat pouring into northern parts of Victoria, inland and western parts of New South Wales as well. So the coast, Sydney, still warm for this time of year, a couple of degrees above the average, 29 for Saturday, 24 and possibly a few showers for Hobart. The Hobart International is on over the weekend, 26, so clearing for Hobart, but then jumping back to 36 degrees in Adelaide. A high pressure system moving across into that southeastern corner, so not much rainfall, but rain and storms focused in northern parts of the Northern Territory, including Darwin.
The highest fire dangers during the middle of the week will be through Western Australia, but later this week, temperatures and fire dangers will climb over the southeast, and there are some major fires burning right now through southeast Australia. There's a fire in South Gippsland that's burning south of Rosedale that's over 12,000 hectares in size. And there's a large fire burning at Mount Field in Tasmania. Plenty of smoke in that area. On Wednesday morning, these fires, though, were not threatening homes or lives. The vegetation index shows dry vegetation dominating Australia's landscape right now, apart from small parts of the east coast, where there are pockets of the green, which show greener vegetation thanks to heavy rain from storms over the last couple of months. But over the past 7 days, most of the country has seen less than 5 millimetres of rain. We've had some storms through central and southern New South Wales, delivering isolated heavy falls, and we're out of the fire season through northern Australia with heavy rain, thanks to the wet season there. Now today, this trough line separates a hot northerly from a cooler southerly, so we've seen a southerly change across southeast Australia. That will keep the fire dangers fairly low, but hot conditions over 40 through the central and northern inland of Western Australia, combined with winds up to around 30 kilometres per hour. That will lead to severe fire dangers, the orange through most central and northern parts of the state today. Fairly low fire dangers for eastern Australia. Again, on Thursday, we're expecting relatively low fire dangers through eastern Australia under this ridge of high pressure, but very hot conditions through WA continuing with severe fire dangers, again, through many central parts of the state. And then finally, we're expecting warmer conditions to drift back south towards the southern coastline on Friday. Temperatures there climbing over 35 right along the southern coastline and over 40 for many parts of South Australia. Now, the isobars are spaced apart. It should not be too windy, but the winds could average around 30 or 35 kilometres per hour for parts of South Australia, and that could lead to severe fire dangers in some districts on Friday, which means fires will be fast moving and difficult to control.